Hey, I get this all the time. Ron, you are so negative. You are so negative about everything to do with real estate, everything to do with housing, everything to do with a lot of stuff. You're a negative guy, a big old negative guy. All right. Let me tell you a couple of things that have actually, I believe, improved in housing and real estate and in the mortgage world in the last 6 months. Because there actually are a couple. So one of them is a two-edged sword. One of them is house prices are sort of down. I mean, they are coming down. They're not coming down rapidly, and it's everything about real estate is regional. Everything is local. So there are some places where there's no price reduction at all in Ontario. I think prices are going up in Saskatchewan. Hey, Saskatchewan, there, I said something about you. There, you happy? Prices are kind of still buoyant in Alberta. I mean, they're not the same wild enthusiasm as there used to be. There might even be signs of a little bit of high-rise condo craziness going on in Calgary. We'll see. But prices are down in parts of BC, not necessarily Vancouver Island, but some, and not necessarily prime. Look, prime, sought after, very good neighborhood. Those properties, some of them have not gone down at all. They haven't gone down at all in Toronto per se. They haven't gone down in Vancouver. Montreal is doing well. I mean, those prices are not down. But there are some prices in regions of Southern Ontario and parts of the Fraser Valley that are definitely down. They're absolutely down from their peak in 2021. They're down. And lower prices, it's a good thing for people who want to buy houses. Now, it's probably not low enough yet. I know. Oh, you're being negative again. But I'm just being honest. There may be lower prices to be had in the immediate future, like in 6 months or next year. But it is still good news. It's good news for every young person. Still too high, I know. For some areas, it's just too much. But there's at least a bit of hope on the horizon that if house prices come down another 10% in some of these regions, another 15% in certain areas, maybe there is a shot, and maybe the condos come down 20%. I don't know. But there is a chance. By the way, some condos are down 20% and falling. So there is a chance that more young people could get an opportunity to buy their own home. And that's a positive. That is always a positive. That is the campaign of the last decade of my life, is the unfairness of young people below the age of 35 in Canada having a tremendous barrier to buying a home for them to live in. I mean, it's been my crusade. And yeah, we just got to admit that lower prices in some regions and some localities could be a benefit, particularly if they come down a bit more. They are a benefit for those young people. But let me talk about something I think might be the very best thing that's happened in the last year in the real estate world. What that is in many parts of Canada, there is a much more rational and normal real estate buying process. Now, I know sales are way down. I know these are the lowest sales in multiple decades for resale homes in Ontario, for instance, and falling rapidly in British Columbia. So rapidly, the guy ran out of sticks for for sale signs. Yeah, seriously, the guy who does the wooden sticks to put out a for sale sign in British Columbia, they've all run out of signs. I don't know what you're going to do. You're going to paste a sign to your house. I don't know how it works, but the sticks are gone. Everybody's used them all. So yeah, it's slow. But the normalcy that has returned to the sales process of buying real estate, in my opinion, is wonderful. Let me explain. So in the very, very hot days, the crazy, insane, maybe never to be repeated in my lifetime days, probably not, I'm really old, but the never to be repeated days of 2021, when there were no conditions. Usually when you buy a house, you put conditions on. I want to do an inspection. I need to make sure my financing's lined up. I need to do this and this. No, there's no conditions. It was multiple offers. It was 20 offers, 30 offers on a house. There was a offer night. There were bully offers. There were people who showed up before the offer date and said, damn it, I'm going to give you 300 grand more. Take it or leave it right now. Like, that's a bully, right? Okay. So That's all gone. That is totally gone. And the sales, buying and selling process in real estate that I understood for almost the whole beginning of my life is back. And that's positive, because now we see everybody wants an inspection report and everybody gets an inspection report. There's no argument. Like, there's very few offers. There's hardly any offers on a house, or maybe one offer. And that offer comes with an inspection condition. They want to send a property inspector in to do a very thorough examination of the house and all the issues to do with the quality of the home. And they want a financing condition so they can have their bank appraise the house and do a thorough final review. They may have a pre-approval, but they want to do a thorough final review that everything's locked in and perfect. And all those conditions are back. They're all back. And that makes for a very much better sales process for the buyer. Because we went through 2.5 years, there were no inspections at all. I don't know what inspection companies did. They probably just played cards all day long. I don't know. Watched soap operas. Is there a soap opera anymore? Okay. Watched reality TV. They watched the Wives of Atlanta. They watched something. They watched 90 Day Fiance. They watched something all day long. Those inspectors were not working. They're all back working again. There's an inspection. Almost all the house purchases we see today have an inspection report done. And guess what? 25% of the houses, they fail. Like, seriously, we get a call. Yeah, no, we're walking away from that house. We didn't like the inspection. No, it might not be serious problems, but they just say to themselves, look, I don't want to have to change the roof in a year. I don't want to have to do this. I don't want to have to. There's some things here we don't like. That never happened because there was no inspections. So can you imagine you bought a house and 6 months later, this thing fell apart, that thing broke down, over here is screwed, because you couldn't do an inspection. You just had to make a big offer and hope for the best. Financing conditions, they're all back. It gives everybody a chance to stop and think, okay, the financing condition is exclusively the buyer's condition. Like, if we don't like the financing offer we get from our bank, we can just say no. So it's actually another pause to decide whether this is really going to be the house for us. And yeah, it gives the bank a chance to review every document again, every single, send an appraiser in, do whatever you need to do. And that mortgage is tight. You do not have to, when you waive financing, you know you've got yourself a mortgage on that house. Been looked at, studied, bank seen it, good to go. So yeah, this normal, rational buying process is definitely an excellent outcome of the real estate downturn. Normal in everything is good. No conditions on any contract, bad.